Well, hello everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola, and a happy coffee club talk happening coming your way. And the one and only Charlie Draper of Draper Law Office is with us this morning, and that itself could be considered a national holiday. How you doing, Charlie?
Good, good. Thank you for having me as your guest this morning.
Our pleasure always. Never enough. You and I could both retire and then hang out and just do these every day, and that would be fine by me. So tomorrow, or depending on when you see this, the Thanksgiving holiday is upon us, and it's a joyous time, grateful time. I had a friend, Lisa, and I have a friend that and she's a professional in the area, and she asked us both what we are grateful for this year, and her name is Erin. She's a wonderful lady. Lisa and I love her very much, and not super close friends, but a very kind person. And she said she's actually a chiropractor in the area, and she said, ask me, what are you grateful for? I felt bad afterwards because I think we're all so busy, we make that mistake of not considering what we are grateful for in this season, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I know Lisa and I both talked about it and what our gratitude is based upon this year. Let me ask you, so what are you grateful for these days?
Geez, so many things, Keith. Obviously, family,
Yep.
A career that's been very rewarding,
Right.
and just not to get too religious, but
Right.
God is with me every day, and so that is I'm so fortunate to have friends like you and your audience. The county has treated me very well, and I'm very grateful for that. And so, yeah, I could go on and on, but those are the top things. I mean, those are the things that make me happy. Those are the things that get me up every day and get me out of the house, which is good for my wife. So who's happily retired, but doesn't want me under her thumb. So so the county has been very good to us. The whole Central Florida community has been good to us, and so many memories, that I just can't be more thankful for. So those, it's not just at Thanksgiving. I mean, I truly appreciate it just every day.
Yeah.
I wake up with a smile. I mean, I'm happy that I'm healthy. Reasonably healthy. So
Right.
as I said, there's so many things to be thankful for. So.
Yeah, that's the truth. My mom's 92. We've talked about it, and still lives alone. She's awesome. We talk about it sometimes, and it's funny the sayings we all grow up with. They're just whatever when you're a kid. Yeah, you're crazy. What are you saying that for? You're crazy. But then you get a little older, you go, it's like you got your health, you got everything. Wow, there you are.
You do.
So there's a million of those things. We can spend an hour talking about that for sure. So we're grateful as well. I want to say that the community should be grateful, and I know we are back at you. And there's a reason why we call it serving the community. You've certainly done that, you and your wife both, and we appreciate you. And a lot of people are in a better place because you've helped them, protecting their rights in so many different instances. We kind of will jump from there. Kind of opened up just a conversation this morning talking about, and I think everybody knows this in Osceola County, certainly Central Florida. It seems every day we are saddened and burdened by the fact that there's so many accidents. They're not just fender benders right now. They've been, fatal accident yesterday. A poor individual, 28-year-old, strikes the side of a Publix truck early in the morning. Terrible tragedy. This morning, another fatality, even just in the St. Cloud area on Narcoozy Road, and I was coming home from SeaWorld last night, as I mentioned to you, and you see people just racing around each other, and there isn't any reason for that. We all know it. You don't get anywhere that much faster anyway, and so it's unfortunate. And maybe you'll share a little bit about that yourself. And I know we've both seen it. Everybody has seen it, and it's a reality right now, wouldn't you say?
It is. You know, it reminds me, Keith. My wife and I moved down from New York in 1984,
Mm-hmm.
and you rarely saw on the news accidents or murders,
Right.
and at that time, it would take me probably 10 or 12 minutes to get from my house off Pleasant Hill Road to my
Right.
office. Right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
a good 45 minutes. And it's just nonstop. And I was just telling a client yesterday who drives truck, and he's higher than most vehicles, so he looks down when he's passing or at a stop sign, and everyone he sees is on the phone and so distracted. So it doesn't, you've got, as everyone knows and experiences, where their subdivisions are cropping up left and right. We
Sure.
have roads that accommodate traffic 20 years ago, and
Right.
so you're putting more people on the road, and everyone, not everyone, a lot of people just they're distracted. B, they're in a hurry because they don't adjust their lifestyle. For example, over the summer when school buses are not on the road, they leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to get to work at 8 o'clock or 8:30, whatever. And then when
Sure.
school starts, and you have buses and a lot more traffic, because it's not just the school buses, it's parents taking their kids to school, right? And
Of course.
so they still leave at 7 o'clock instead of leaving at 6:45 to get there. And so people are in a hurry. So it's a combination of different factors. And as we've talked on your show before, the only way, in my opinion, that you can protect yourself and your family is to carry good insurance. And good insurance would include uninsured
Right.
or underinsured motorist coverage to protect you and your loved ones, because there's a lot of vehicles out there on the road with the bare minimum coverage that does not include bodily injury liability coverage, and some
Right.
out there just have no coverage at all. So to your point, it's these. I mean, I was watching the news this morning about that traffic fatality on Narcoossee Road, and immediately following that was a clip of West 2 spokesman at the airport
Right.
saying how many hundreds of thousands of people are going to be traveling today. And then you switch it to the Today Show and millions of people all across the country. And you just, I'm thankful that I'm not driving today. I really am. I'm not. My
Another
wife and
thing
I
you're
are
thankful for.
at home.
Yeah,
So
I get it
yeah.
too. Yeah, and
So,
everybody knows this conversation too. I mean, and I get the whole thing. I think I think as humans, we like to assign a responsibility to what the situation is, but I get it. You and I both have, like you mentioned, we both have history in a colder climate area.
right.
And so, we're not the only ones. You can't lock the door on the way in. And the reality is, secrets out. It's nice down here, specifically right now. It's already cold in a lot of places. People don't want to
Oh
mess
yeah.
with it. Opportunities are here that are not elsewhere. And, and now I think, the reality is, like you said, it's going to take you longer to get to places. I understand also. Yes, we've talked about this a number of times. It's just me. I guess it's an individual thing. When I look to purchase, I'm being very honest right now. When I look to purchase insurance, it's kind of my job in the family, right? And so I sit there and I'm an online guy, so I do some decent amount of research. At first, a part of me says, how can I get this what I need and not, go broke doing it, right? But
Right.
then sense comes over me, and honestly, talking to you is a great reminder of that. And I say, my gosh, though, I'm not insuring myself just to do what the law says. I'm insuring ourselves so that if something happens, you're protected in that way, right? And
Right.
so, but I get it. And if I was 20 and if I was working, 12, 13 bucks an hour, my gosh, what do you do, right? But people have to consider what we're saying here. It's an everyday occurrence that somebody's getting hurt on the roads, and it's uncomfortable to invest certain amounts of money sometimes, but you just need to be responsible adults when you're out there doing it. So
Right.
anyway,
And here's something, Keith, that I had not considered till someone with a doctor's office brought to my attention. The demographics in Osceola County are such that a lot of residents uh, carry the bare minimum, okay, and insurance. They do not carry bodily injury coverage because, all their money from their work in the hotel business or
right.
resorts goes to paying high rent, food,
Yeah,
and so they get
for
the
real.
bare minimum. Whereas in other communities like Orange County or Seminole County, this particular individual is not seeing the same problems at her clinic that we're seeing here. So I'm not saying that all cars in Osceola County are uninsured in terms of not carrying bodily injury, but that's something to take into consideration. Our demographics. It's not a. I mean, there's a reason why people are moving to Poinciana and other parts because the rent is cheaper,
Sure.
and because they're not making high dollars. So anyway, that's was news to me, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're right. You've
And
got to think the knee-jerk reaction is I need to save money, which is true. But you
sure.
also have an obligation to your family to provide protection in the event that they're involved in an accident and have a serious injury.
Yeah. I had this, Lisa and I talk about it together, my wife and I, and I think the way we do things is maybe different than other people do it, which is we sit down and say, and I come back, I get the information. I sit down with whoever your partner is, that you
Sure.
do life with, sitting down and saying, hey, this is the deal. What can we do? What is your opinion? Not just getting it done, checking the box.
Right.
But it is a challenge. It's a blend of challenges for sure. And depending on where you're at with life, my son's 23, right? And if he wasn't in college, he was on his own, he might be hard pressed to pick up insurance that was more vast. So I get it. But we should chat on real quick. We should also chat on which seems like something we've talked about 1.5 million times, which is like you said, assume that you have to buffer your ride by an extra 20 to 30 minutes, no matter where you're going. Right.
Right.
And keep your head out of the flipping mobile device or whatever else your deal is for that ride. My son is awesome. He does not play the distraction. And if I even begin to look around, I mean, I had a couple sounds go off on this discussion. If you hear a bing, my instinct is to look over at it.
Sure.
He does not, it's dangerous out there if we're not focused. It's dangerous when you're focused.
It is.
So, yeah. But anyway, that's my there's my 2 cents in that particular end of it.
Well, it's as you said, we've talked about it plenty of times before, but it's a topic that you just can't say enough about because people are, I mean, people are aware of it, but it's like that can't happen to me, right?
That's the
But
problem.
it does,
Yeah,
that won't
that's the
happen to
problem.
me. Yeah, it
Well,
could happen.
I want to encourage one more thing, and then I want to make sure we don't we want to end at least by mentioning again a little bit about your firm. You don't ever bring it up in a conversation. I like to, because I know I respect and trust what you and your staff does for the community, or what you do for the community. But also, just a quick reminder. Everybody should remain very focused on sobriety through this holiday. It is a time of, I know we're all busy, busier than I think we have ever been. And it's a different kind of busy. It's like a crazy busy now, post pandemic craziness. But I hope people realize that you can step back and have a good time. Somebody has to drive sober. It's an easy way to plan ahead. Just think about it. There are so many, a vast number of ways to be driven if you have to. Plan ahead, right? I know AAA has a tow to
Exactly.
go program. I mean, there are, Uber, Lyft, friends, self-management. Don't travel when you're drinking ever. I mean, ever. And like I said, there's AAA has tow to go. And it might seem like a pain in the butt to people, but it's free. If you find yourself in an unplanned scenario, call AAA. They'll take you, and I think it's just you and the vehicle, not two people, to wherever 10 miles away. They'll get you somewhere safe. And so, hope people do that as well. But do me a favor, please talk about your firm. Let people know who you are and what you do.
Sure. Glad to. Draper Law Office has been in business in Kissimmee since 1984. We primarily practiced in two areas of law. One is personal injury and wrongful death. 90% of the cases I handle are automobile related. The other 10% are slip and fall, trip and fall, things of that nature, occasional dog bite. The other area is family law, which can include divorce, child support, visitation, you name it. And so by specializing in those two areas, we feel that we can offer the public a more focused and concentrated practice and stay on top of the law. We're not delving into something that we've never seen before. So we're located at 705 West Emmett Street in Kissimmee, right across the street from the old courthouse and right next to Grissom Park Playground. Our telephone number is 407-846-0075, and our website is draperlawoffice.com. And if you're in the neighborhood and you just have a legal question, stop in. If I'm available, I'd be more than happy to sit down and just talk about it. So look forward to, again, continuing to serve the public. It's so rewarding. And I don't mean that financially. I'm just saying I'm so invested in it. It scares me to think about retirement. It really does, because I think that you've got to have a reason to get up and get out. And so I enjoy doing what I do. And I certainly appreciate the opportunity to appear with you on your show, Keith. And Thanksgiving is a great time to express our gratitude, as we did at the starting of the show. And I want to wish you and everyone, or your audience and their families, a very safe and happy Thanksgiving to all.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to, I understand what you mean. We could certainly do a show on not retiring.
Exactly.
This is why not retire. No, I know you love what you do, and your whole staff does. And I think that's part of what makes you different than so many other firms out there. And so we do appreciate what you do. You certainly have given back as long as I've known you. And ironically, you said you came to be here on hey, there goes that cat, in the 80s. And the music seems to have come back full circle. When you go to restaurants, you hear 80s again. So go figure. So
exactly.
Another reason to keep on going. Charlie, we appreciate you very much, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Keith. Always enjoy it.
Absolutely. Be safe. My best to you and your family and your entire team over there in Kissimmee. We do appreciate you, as I said. So I wish you a happy Thanksgiving, sir.
And you as well, my friend.
All right, you got it. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, one of our coffee club talk lives with the one and only Charlie Draper of Draper Law Office, together making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Take care, sir. Bye now.